You know, when I told Waxwing I was leaving, the first thing she asked was what I thought you all would do without me. But the thing is, there'll be heroes in Bluff City long after I leave. There's something in the blood or the spirit or the history of you humans that draws you to figures like me. And I don't just mean to doctors or firefighters or soldiers. I mean to those who understand the value of an icon, the power of a bright pair of boots, and the potency of a cape and a catchphrase. You folks don't need me flying around the shoreline. You have movies and comic books and wrestling. You know that columnist Nathaniel Bridges? He once wrote that pro wrestling was an insult to people like me. The costumes and the signature moves, he said, were no more than craven mockeries of what the real heroes look like. But when I first showed up to this town, back when I was still insisting everyone call me the American Goldfinch, that same Nathaniel Bridges said that I was, and I quote, a 4-color and 2-bit knockoff of the Grapplers down at Promenade Arena. And you know what? He wasn't wrong. My first costume, the one with the all-black wings and that hideous beak mask, I stitched that thing together while watching Jeff Bereft Moran get revenge on that lobster wrestler who stole his pet dog. Which is why I'm not worried about leaving. I'll miss you all. I'll miss Waxwing. You, her, this whole city. You've been the loves of my life. But you are not my home. Right now, there is a little girl tuning into the Saturday night show just like I did once. She's gonna see AQUA Illusion and Charlie Cupid and Jake the Jackal and all the rest leap from that top rope and fly through the air without any powers at all. And she is gonna grow up to be Bluff City's next great hero. She'll have the sand and the sea and the chimes of the casino floor in her blood. That's what you need in a hero, Bluff City. Not someone like me. Not this old Goldfinch. Welcome to Friends at the Table, an actual play podcast focused on critical world building, smart characterization, and fun interaction between good friends. I'm your host and GM, Austin Walker. You can follow me on Twitter at Austin_Walker. And today we are continuing Bluff City, and we're starting a new game of Bluff City. We're playing Worldwide Wrestling, the role-playing game by Nathan D. Paoletta. Joining me today at ringside, Andy Clare.
Hello, I'm here, obviously. You can find me on Twitter at Captain Trash and elsewhere on the internet at videogamechoochoo.com or my other show, Emojidrome.
Art Martinez-Tebble.
I had myself all psyched up to do like the Macho Man voice in response to that.
Oh, fuck, I was going to do that.
Like, this is the ghost of the Macho Man
well, that's
running
good
through, but like it cheapens it somehow, you know?
Yeah,
it cheapens it. You can find me on Twitter at Atebble, trying to bring respectability back to Twitter. I'm not doing that.
You're not doing that. We do a Kanye West podcast. It's impossible for us to do that at this point. Speaking of, you follow that at One Song Pod on Twitter. Also joining us, Andrew Lee Swan.
Hey, brother, you can find me on Twitter at Swandre3000. What?
And that's fine. And Ali Akampora.
Hi, that is who I am. You can find me at Ali_West on Twitter.com.
As always, you follow
West. Sorry.
You know what would have been perfect for Andy, because Andy had 3 things that they plugged, is to do the Okada 3 things style.
Oh, man!
Do we want to do
you want to go back? You want to do a pickup?
No, it's fine. The moment's passed.
Andy Clare.
I can't even remember what he says because it's in Japanese, and I don't remember the exact translation anymore.
Fair. So we're doing wrestling today. As always, we love wrestling. That's us, the wrestling crew. This is a joke because I'm tired. And we've been actually looking forward to doing this game for literally 16 months, maybe longer. 2 years, 2.5 years.
When we started Counterweight, this is what I wanted to do for season 3. I didn't even want to go back to Hyron. I just wanted to do Counterweight, then this. And Hadra Who.
Right. Is that your character for this? Hadra Who?
Yeah, Hadra Who.
Some sort of clown, maybe?
Yeah, it's a clown, and I'm using the gimmick Indie Darling.
And when you come out, everyone goes, "Hey, Drahoo!" And that's like your thing, right?
Yeah,
Gotcha. Real quick, my agenda today is to celebrate and challenge the players, to make it look like I had it planned all along, and to entertain the imaginary viewing audience, and also hopefully the real viewing audience. The imaginary viewing audience is a if you're listening to the other Bluff City games, is a concept that you already heard in action movie world, which is a kind of technique of thinking about the audience at home. And them watching the show and watching them kind of the events roll out in the ring, or in the case of action movie world, on the silver screen. Dre and Andy have already dealt with this concept. I think we all have a pretty good idea of this concept because of having a real audience. But this is a useful premise and because we do lots of like the camera does blank, But in this game, you can kind of take it a step further and think about how the viewing audience is watching you. Audience is a major stat in this game, and think about how people are reading your actions. You also have an agenda here. As players, your agendas are to first be generous, ask the other players questions about their characters and invite them to interact with your wrestler. 2, be positive, answer questions by building on them, join in other storylines when invited or opportunities present themselves, and be obvious. What seems too obvious to be interesting in your head is probably something nobody else at the table would come up with. At worst, you will establish a baseline to grow from. Trying to come up with the most creative material can lead to paralysis or things too abstract for others to work with. Your contributions reflect back on you. By making other players look good or other wrestlers look good, you also look good. The characters compete, but all the players share the goal of making the most awesome wrestling storylines possible. Being generous, positive, and obvious is the easiest way to do that. With those things said, and also as always, we should set up top that like if we ever stray into territory that we don't want to go into, we can all throw up the X or ask to veil something, and say, oh, let's like fade this scene to black, or hey, can we redo that? Obviously, I think we are all close enough friends at the table here to know that we can do that, but I'd rather just say it outright that hey, if something makes a turn and like, oh, there's a spot in the ring that you think maybe is like gonna go bad in a way that you're not interested in, we could just completely roll back the clock and start over. Always good to put that out there. I actually can lean on y'all a lot here because unlike most of the time we come into one of the Bluff City games and it is a pretty free-form game, where it's like, something like Fiasco, or Norlandia, where the characters are created at the table very quickly and then you kind of roll right into the game itself. Today, maybe we get to a little bit of wrestling action, but I wanted to just block out time to actually sit down and make these characters finally, because we've been trying to run this game for 2 years. And because I think the character creation here is really interesting. It's a Powered by the Apocalypse game, so to some degree it's still just like stats, but there's a little bit more interaction between characters, since after all, in wrestling, characters have to interact directly with each other way more often than in a game like Apocalypse World, Apocalypse World, there's some good interaction, but something like Dungeon World especially, where it's like, oh, I'm fighting goblins. Like, the thing I'm going to do is fight goblins. I'm not really fighting each other. And here, you're collaborating in the ring a lot, and so there is like relationships between characters is really important, and then lots of kind of a slightly more complex rules, since this isn't a game that pretends that the storylines in wrestling are real. This isn't a game that takes place in what the wrestling world would consider kayfabe, right? You're not, it's not like a wrestling video game where the goal is to win the match. This is a game about pro wrestling as a cultural practice. And so it is about having a match that the crowd really likes and growing as an entertainer and as a professional wrestler throughout your career, and feuds that spill over from the ring into real life and vice versa. And so like that has always been one of the biggest and most attractive things about this game, and about telling wrestling stories in general has been the ways in which those things overlap. So, I mean, let's start this at a high level, because I want to give you the big picture pitch about where this is and what this is in Bluff City, and we can kind of zoom in on this. And this is literally the pitch I've had in my head for years. I think that there is a local federation that is operated by someone in his, he was like 30 years old, named Simeon Shaw IV. He is the son of the Shaw Hotel dynasty, and he is a fuck up. He is an entertainment and music and wrestling promoter. He is constantly trying to find the next big thing. He has never succeeded at it, and he is his father's favorite child. His sister, Serafina Shaw, runs the hotels and casinos that her family still has in Bluff City. They have 2 casinos. I don't know the names of them yet. Most of their fortune is out in Las Vegas at this point, but they are Bluff City. Like the family goes back to the days of founding the colonies nearby Bluff City. They are white people. It's important that they are white people because they are a shitty family. Not that other families can't be shitty, but they are shitty in a particularly, capitalistic white colonizer ass way. Serafina runs the businesses here, runs the corporate, or runs the casinos, while her shitty brother does his best to bring a local band, to turn a local band into something marketable, or to run his local federation. We zoom in at a moment where both Bluff City is struggling. I imagine, maybe one of the 2, or maybe there used to be more Shaw casinos open, and now there are only 2 left, or maybe we're at a moment where there's only 1 left. People are other casinos are opening up around the country, not just in Vegas and in Bluff City. People can just go up to Connecticut or stay in Pennsylvania. I think this is definitely a recession era game. The world isn't a place that the boom is over. Obviously this is a services and resort focused town, so it was never an industrial town. But when industrial jobs elsewhere dry up, the people who would come to a place for Bluff City on holiday, they also stop coming. And so for the people here, wrestling is both an old standby when it comes to entertainment. You need a ring, you need some lights, but mostly what you need is people who are willing to put their bodies on the line. And that's stuck around. And also for those here who are performing in the ring, it's a potential way out. And I bring that up because here's the thing I'm putting on the line tonight on the main event. Whoever ends with the highest audience rating is getting a job offer from one of the big leagues, from the Constitution Sports Entertainment, which is the kind of northern of the 2 wrestling leagues. There's a southern league too. It's Old Dominion Wrestling Federation, which has changed hands a dozen times and is storied and really believes in good wrestling, but no one cares about them. This is like the WCW that never quite died off, right? And obviously the Northern Constitution Sports Entertainment is very much our WWE stand-in. The Shaw family has close relations to the family that runs Constitution Sports Entertainment, and as a favor to Simeon Shaw III, I feel like Sebastian Shaw is probably an X-Men villain. Is that true?
Is, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So in my own brain, Simeon Shaw III is friends with the owner of the Constitution Sports Entertainment, and so as a favor is coming down to show pity on his friend's son's shitty little wrestling thing, and is going to offer something. It's not particularly clear what. Probably not a full-time job offer, but something to whoever ends up with the highest audience, whoever is clearly the most over at the end of this special event. No one in the crowd knows that, of course, right? Not at the start of the show, at least. But that is kind of, I want that to be on the table for as you build characters and think about characters. These should be characters who maybe either really want to get out or who would never want to leave, right? That sort of do I stay or do I go should be in the air for this game. And maybe we don't get to it all the way, but that is part of the vibe, I think, around this stuff. The world is big and Bluff City is small. And I think we've done a lot of blowing Bluff City up in a way. We've done a lot of the local boys got it. Hey, just cause the shitty crew from Trenton comes in, fuck them. Bluff City's own can handle it, and I want to do the opposite here and make Bluff City seem small. And even the people who have money don't have real money, So that's my pitch for like the setting and the time and the space. As it's Bluff City, I'm not giving a specific year. I'm not saying this is 2007. I think it is. I think it is always this weird blend of late 70s through near future. But it is definitely recession era Bluff City at the very least. It is definitely this like moment in its history where things are not super appealing. The neon lights, the neon bulbs have started to burn out. So any questions about that kind of broad picture of the setting?
So this we will entirely be within one card. We're doing one show.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do one show, and we can wrap back, right? Like, that's the thing is I have no fear that if in 6 months or 3 months we're like, man, I really liked that, we'll figure out how to make that something we can come back to. And also, these characters exist in Bluff City, right? So
Sure.
we can see them in other games. Any other big picture questions or thoughts?
No, I don't. Nothing from my end.
Okay. So let me link you to a file, which is this rad scratch sheet. Tabletop games. Here's a Google Doc.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
What's up, Google Doc?
So this is a super simple Google Doc. It just has like the basic things you need for your character, which is gimmick, which is kind of your character's basic like gimmick, like what type of wrestler you are, whether you're like a veteran, someone who's been around the block for a long time, or if you're playing like the hardcore wrestler who like uses weapons and sneaks stuff in and plays dirty, or is just like great at that, or the golden boy who's like the next big thing, or the anti-hero, etc., etc., etc. I think we have all of the available gimmicks between the main ones and then International Incident, which is the expansion to this game. They're all in that folder. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I think we red flagged the Wasted.
Yes, we are not going to use the Wasted.
Yeah.
Which is like a thing that I can imagine a game getting into and doing well, but I don't know that we've done the prep work necessary. I know we have not done the prep work necessary to play the Wasted. The Wasted is a character who has like a fan base and who's like well established, but has substance abuse and addiction problems, or is dealing with substance abuse and addiction. Again, I think there are stories to be told around substance abuse and addiction, and I believe in the power of games to tell those. I don't believe in the power of me at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday after a full day of work. When one of you goes like, oh, this is what I want to do to make sure that I can guide that well. And I think it's more responsible to like, hey, let's make sure we just do this right.
Especially when we have like time constraints with how Bluff City's format is.
100%.
We're not going to be able to explore that properly.
If we were going to do this for like, months, we
Right.
could.
Yep,
Yeah.
totally. There's just too much of a structural pressure to fuck that up. Basically, if all you do is all you have is one in. Any other questions about playbooks? I mean, are we at a place where we want to just start with gimmicks, or do we want to start even broader than that, which is broad character ideas?
I think I'm pretty good on both like the gimmick I'm going to be and my kind of broad character idea. So I guess I could start if other people want to still have some chance to. So my character is my gimmick I'm choosing is the jobber.
Okay.
So the description the book gives is you're a nobody. You're there to lose and make the other guy look good. You may not have the fans, but you have a job to do and you can do it well. How long will that keep you and your family fed?
Right.
So the character that I'm playing is like his like actual person name is Lenny Reed, and I kind of see him as he's like the second cousin of somebody who is in like a big like kind of wrestling family dynasty, so like a Hart dynasty kind of situation. And he just happened to become like he and his like second cousin became like really good friends as kids. It was probably something very simple as like, oh man, I've got the Super Nintendo, you've got the Genesis, we're 6, let's hang out together so we can play all the video games.
Right.
Because my mom won't buy me the Genesis and your dad won't buy you the Super Nintendo. So But so then, like, because he was hanging out with his cousin, he, started training, like, in the gym and stuff like that. But he never really had the passion for it. But because he had these connections in the training, he just kind of kept doing it.
Right.
And so I think that's how he's kind of come into this jobber role, where he is technically good enough to, like, be in the ring, not hurt other people, and, like, make other people look good. And there's probably, like, a mix of people backstage who are both like, oh yeah, Lenny, he's a pretty chill dude, he's fine. But there's probably also, like, a group of people who are, like, really frustrated with him because they can tell he's not passionate about it. Like, he's not the kind of person I don't think who, like, fucks up a bunch and gets people hurt. But he's like, this is, I clock in, I clock out. Like, I'm not about the life. So when you said, like, the should I stay or should I go, I think he's very much the person who's just like, why would I go? Like, this is
right.
This is what I do.
This is your job. You don't want to be in the spotlight. No. At least at the start of this game.
Right. Now, his wrestling persona is where I'm going to just get on my bullshit here, because his wrestling persona is Count Faustof the Third.
Oh, right.
Okay.
I've got a Pinterest board linked. I'll go ahead and drop it here.
Please, thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh boy,
this is the first, I think.
Oh wow.
There's a lot going on here.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a lot of, I mean, like very. It's like Gangrel, but if then Gangrel was like, no, this I'm too subtle. Everything I'm doing is too subtle right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dre. Are you attached to the 10 by 11 inch hat dimensions for your
black
hat?
stovepipe hat?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I need that big ass hat.
Okay,
Need that big tall hat. But yeah, so this character is Count Faustof III, is just a, like, fucking shitty, like, rich person from, like, up northeast. I think his hailing from is either Salem, Mass, because, like, witches and stuff. Right.
Like, that doesn't actually mean anything. But
no, it doesn't. But, like, somebody the witch trials. Yeah, okay. The other one is a deeper cut, so maybe it doesn't work. But there's a town. There's, like, a castle in this town of Guilford, New Hampshire, where it's, like, just a, like, bullshit, like, European style castle that, like, I think, like, some, like, trade magnate built for himself in, like, the 1800s or something. And that castle's been on, like, every, like, Travel Channel, like, haunted ghost hunter show.
I have two thoughts here.
Yeah.
One, that would be the one that I could imagine the character using in their mid-90s WWF promo before they make the "I'm here in Guilford." You know what I mean? Like that, like the pre-recorded video version of it.
Yes.
And could totally see that being the thing, and it feels like, to some degree, it feels like Salem is like the cheesier, more like basic bare bones one. On the other hand, it feels like you would have the like what was your character's name again?
Lenny, or wait, the
Lenny or Lenny?
Lenny, Lenny.
Okay. Lenny would have the freedom to do research and be like, oh, I'm from Guilford. There's a castle there in the Indies. But the second you get to WWE, Constitution Sports Entertainment's creative team, like, no one knows what the fuck that is. You're from Salem.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, so it's up to you which one of those two you want to go.
Are we properly considering the Anne Rice possibility here? That the real answer is New Orleans?
Oh.
Maybe, but I kind of like the idea of him also. You know what? I mean, just from, like, a performance perspective, I could probably do a shitty Southern aristocrat. Better than a fucking Northeastern one. So there we go.
Were they doing accents in Interview with a Vampire? Were they doing?
The book did, because it was written.
But no one in wrestling reads.
I could go,
of course.
Yeah, of course. I could go. That's not true. Chris Jericho has that whole long list of holds he knows, and he has a list also. He also has the list, right?
Dude loves reading. Anyone can hold a list, Austin.
But not anyone can read off of it,
which he has,
or add to it.
Right, the various lists of Chris Jericho.
Chris,
So I guess
Misty, Jericho.
the thing I'll say here is like there's actually, because I've kind of set up the metagame here about being the kind of the Northern Federation and then there's the Southern Federation, like there is almost something layered on top of that, right? If you are the shitty Northeastern elitist jobber vampire, then are you actually a vampire in character?
Yeah, fuck it. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
All right. So, but Lenny is not a vampire.
No. Lenny's not even like goth. Lenny is like normcore as fuck.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Because listen, it's Bluff City. I needed to ask the question. I think there's something funny if it's the northern one, because then you're like you will be read as poking fun at Constitution if you're from the north, right?
Mm.
And if you're from the south, you'll be seen as poking fun at Old Dominion. Like there is no, because either way, it's like, oh, you're the elitist. And even though it's the same exact character, you know how wrestling fans are.
Yeah. I think originally I was thinking Northeastern elitist because it was like there was almost like a thing where it's like, oh man, these are the kind of like weird assholes who come into Bluff City on vacation and treat all the locals like shit.
Right.
And so it's like quick heat where the people are like, oh, I know this asshole. I know this kind of asshole.
Right. Here's the other thing you can do is you could definitely be parts unknown and name drop whatever bullshit place you'd ever want during whatever promo where you're like, I spent time in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
And adopt a terrible New Orleans accent for like the next few lines. And then in a different promo, talk about how when you spent time in Old Paris. And like, because you're a vampire, you've been everywhere.
No, it's parts unknown. You're right.
Okay.
That was like my original thing was like, should I do parts unknown? But yeah, no. Now, yeah, we should. Yeah, it's parts. It's parts unknown.
Or yeah, something like that, or something traveling. Yeah, I think parts unknown is solid. All right, so that is your hailing from. The next thing that we need is entrance.
Yeah. So the options it gives you are like silly and overblown, strangely sympathetic, or something else. I think it probably is silly and overblown, and just that it's just like the most like edgelord, like it's very much like loud organ music and like the lights go off and he probably has like I think he has like a really comically large like cross necklace that he parades around as he's going.
Does he take it? And he takes it off and like hangs it on the turnbuckle for sure, right? Okay, okay, great, perfect. I love it. All right, stats is next.
Yeah,
there's 3 stats or 4 stats. There's 3 stats. Wait, no, 4. There's 4 stats. They are. I'm gonna see if I can get like the larger description of them from the book real quick. That way I can like talk about them instead of just be like, oh, that one's basically blah blah blah. Here we go. So there's look, which is, quote, your charisma, your it factor, your ability to inhabit your character and, quote unquote, live the gimmick. Look is most important for if you want to cut exciting promos and create a memorable character for the fans to follow. Power is your raw strength, aggression, and impressiveness. Power is most important for you if you want to enjoy physical dominance over other wrestlers and stand out for your extraordinary physical presence and abilities. Real is your ability to, quote, break the fourth wall, bring in real-world concerns, and deal with legit issues. Real is most important for you if you want to blend the line between character and performer and captivate the audience with your actual personality. And work, your ability to tell a story in the ring, execute moves correctly, and make others look good. Work is the most important for you if you want to use your ring work to create your legacy. So your gimmick gives you initial scores, and then you can kind of adjust it by adding and subtracting from there. So do you want to talk through that?
Yeah, so my base stats are look -2, power 0, real 0, and work +1. And then I get to add 1 to one stat and subtract 1 from one stat. So I'm going to add 1 to power to make my power 1. And then I'm going to subtract 1 from real to put my real at -1.
Okay. So you're never going to be able to be like, oh yeah, I know how things are going. I know the truth behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I know what happens in backstage. I know the people. I know the people in the creative team. But also you actually do like you're buff. You're kind of a buff boy.
Yeah.
Okay. I was picturing you as thinner than that, but I kind of like it better if you're like almost popping out of this Victorian wear. a little too buff for the gimmick, you know?
Yes.
Which is why your reel is lower. That motherfucker ain't a goth. Get the fuck out of here. I see him in the gym.
Exactly. Yep.
Has JoJo's Bizarre Adventure not been localized for Bluff City yet?
Oh, fuck.
Perfect. All right. Next up is Heat, but we'll come back around to Heat. Heat is sort of like history in other Powered by the Apocalypse games or similar sorts of rules in various games. We're going to jump down to roles. So you pick your starting role, and you can use the move of the same name. Which role are you? There are two.
I'm a heel.
You are a heel. All right, so that makes them right. You're not the world traveling elitist vampire who people love.
Man,
oh my god, it's a while down the road, but I want to be here for that face turn.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man,
Me too. All right. Is there anything else that you start with here? You start and set to audience 0.
I have a couple of moves that I get to take.
Yes.
And I did not figure that one out. So I get
All right, so yeah, start with your basic.
Yeah.
Your not your basic. Everybody's basic moves. Start with the two that you definitely have.
Right. So I get one called Do the Job. You are always booked to lose your matches. When your opponent pins you for the win, roll 2d6. On a 10+, I make them look great, and they get 1 audience. On a 7 to 9, I do okay, and I get 1 momentum or 1 heat. I get to pick that. And then on a botch, I don't sell it right. We both lose -1 audience.
I should briefly talk about what those are, just so people know, because we're going to hear the words heat and momentum and audience a lot. Mm-hmm. Audience is how into you the audience is. It's kind of again, how over you are, how excited the audience is to see you. When you get to 4, when you get to audience +4, you then can do an advance, basically. You can get a level up. Effectively. When you hit 0, I think you also get an advance, but there's a risk there, which is you should probably pick +1 audience, because if you ever end an entire session or an entire card at audience 0, you get fired. So try to avoid that. The other two terms that came up there were heat, which again is the kind of history term here, and that is about relationships with other wrestlers. Those are other players by default, and that is kind of like how you have what your relationship is and how excited people are to see the two of you together. If you ever have a match with someone who you have +4 heat with, so if your history with them is really long, you have a kind of a long running feud or a long running friendship, who knows, and you're ever in a match with them, then you can gain audience from that, basically. And then the other one was momentum, and momentum is like bonus dice, basically. You can spend momentum after you're not bonus dice, but bonus points to spend on rolls. You can spend momentum after you do any roll to add to that roll. So if you rolled a 9, you can spend, or is it just add 1, or is it flip up to the next highest success level? Here we go. Players can decide to spend any amount of momentum to add that amount to any roll, and they decide after the roll. If someone groans at the result of a roll, it's a good time to ask them if they want to spend momentum. There you go. So that is like how, there are rolls where you just do 2d6 and nothing. Like your finisher roll is just 2d6. So if you've gained a lot of momentum, you can then spend that to make sure that 2d6 turns out to be a success for you, All right. Is there anything else here? So yeah, what was your second move?
Career wrestler. If I end an audience with audience +3 or higher, I can
an episode.
Sorry, yeah. I get to change to another gimmick. If I do end the episode with audience 0, I'm not fired. Instead, my audience is reset to +1.
Listen, that right there. That is job security.
Yeah, I'm just out here working.
Perfect. All right, and then what is your pick one? What is your bonus move here?
I'm gonna pick sympathetic, where I roll work instead of audience when I do the work the audience move.
Okay, and your work is +1, right?
Yes.
Awesome, cool. So that means that even though the fact that you're going to have 0 or 1 audience, a lot, you're going to at least have the chance of you're always going to have a +1. You're never, even at audience 0, you're always going to at least have a +1 to just kind of get an audience into things. All right, again, you start at audience 0, and is there anything else here? You don't have any advances, and you don't have any injuries.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I don't believe, right? All right, awesome, cool. And again, we'll wrap back around to Heat after we know who the other characters are. who wants to go next?
I could, but I certainly don't need to. You can go, Allie. Really.
I mean, I have some solid ideas. If
All right, I was just reading the pause. So
Okay, do you all have Pinterest boards ready? Or
let me make my Pinterest board real quick. No,
Maybe.
Oh, man. I forgot that me filling out this Pinterest board is how I did a Google search for goth vampire man and ended up with a picture of Austin in the Google image search results.
excuse me?
oh my god!
You don't remember that,
Excuse me?
Austin?
No, a lot of things happen.
That's in this chat.
Somewhere, yes.
Yeah, you might have to go too far back, but Google thinks you're a goth wrestler, man.
What it is
Or
is that
goth
you were on
Vampire
an
man or wrestler man?
if you do a Google image search for goth vampire male and you scroll down, you show up.
Oh, there I am,
okay.
right there. I'm in black and white too. That's wild. I don't even look like a vampire in this picture.
No, you don't.
Well, you're in
Damn.
black and white, which is the official color palette of vampires.
Well, I couldn't be outside in the sun. This is clearly not a sunny day, so.
It could be an eclipse.
Yeah, exactly, true. All right, so Allie or Art, who's up next?
Allie should be.
Okay. Okay. So I have been struggling with this a little bit because I had some ideas when we were going to do Bluff City full time. In the middle was just like, I don't want to do this. I'm scared. And then 45 minutes ago was like, I have a really good idea. So I think I think I'm the newest to wrestling here. So my wrestling fandom has evolved where it's beginning here I was I wanted to play someone who was kind of earnestly fitting a role within a card, was a heel but from the neighborhood, had a part-time job dealing blackjack, and I think I'm moving away from that a little bit because I think that wrestling as performance art is funnier to me. Today I was just how do we get from Switchblade being a good wrestler, having a really good look, and having a knife pervert shirt, just by not caring is how.
If this ends
so
with
happy.
and my
I'm so
my
happy.
character has a knife pervert shirt, I'm gonna lose my mind.
But yeah, so the basic thing was I was thinking of I was what wrestling gimmick would I want to be? And it was just what if C-Punk was a wrestling character?
Oh.
What if there was a person? And then
I just need you to know that I and lots of other people thought you just forgot to say M, because you said C-Punk, and I thought you just forget, did she forget that there's an M in, and also CM Punk is a wrestling character.
No.
All right, so what
He's
is
a UFC
C-Punk?
fighter.
Right, sorry, apologies.
But from there it was what if someone really earnestly just wanted to be a wrestler but got a local artist grant for her from her art school to do performance art, which is doing this shitty wrestling thing, but because nobody has money, it's a sponsorship from a fisherman whatever, and her whole gimmick is that she's the evil whatever from Bluff City Bay or whatever.
Yeah, Wait, is she just playing the Beyonce character?
I think she
Do you
might
know what I
be.
mean? She isn't the Selkie from Inspectors, but that got written about. That was in the
But
whatever
this
the
is,
cryptid
years
papers are.
before it, right? I don't want to spoil Art's thing, but
Oh, I don't know that it's before it. I have no reason to. I have no idea. We'll find out when we talk to Art. I've always been imagining this as not being before, but
okay, fair. Because before we started recording at 7:05, I was should I tell them this idea and ask if it's too close to the Selkie? And then I was no, because we're about to record right now, and I don't have a plan B. So it's just gonna be what it is. But yeah, I don't know. I think having a finishing move that's just basically the thing that John Cena does, but called the high tide, is really good. And
that's
I
good.
think that having a denim jacket, but half of it is cut away, and the rest of it is just a fishing net sewed into it and just kind of hanging down is really cool.
That's a very good look.
It is what it is.
So what is what gimmick is this? Because I could see it going a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, so I was leaning between Anti-Hero and Golden Boy, and I think Golden Boy fits more because it's like local business is, funding her like gym membership, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, did you go? Okay, here. Wait, are you from the Firebird gym, the Tawny Buck gym?
Oh, maybe. I don't see why not.
Keep it in the canon.
Yeah, just like an art student who is also going to that gym. Oh, that's so good.
It's very good.
Wait, but then should my gimmick?
No, of course not.
No, because the Firebird is a different move. That's a whole different thing.
That's a whole different thing. There could be a different local... I mean, you're all local wrestlers, right? Maybe not all of you, but, some of you from parts unknown. But, you might... Multiple people might have been to that gym.
Yeah.
So you're the Golden... You're thinking Golden Boy over Anti-Hero.
Yeah.
Let's just read them out loud just so that you can... Do you want to read the Golden Boy's, summary at the top?
You're the next big thing, whether the audience or the other wrestlers admit it or not. Someone backstage is putting all of their weight behind you. You just have to hold it up. You just have to hold up your end of the ring.
Gotcha. That definitely suggests local hero has local connections. Maybe this is a situation where Simeon, who's the promoter here, knows the person who is paying for you to Simeon isn't paying your check. Whoever gave you this grant is paying your check. And so you're free talent for him, and he probably knows who they are and just yeah, great. See, what is she, a mermaid? Yeah, perfect. We can work with that.
I was gonna say that I ended up at the C-Punk thing by being a women's wrestler is still probably hard, and Alexa Bliss's whole thing is I'm a goddess is kind of weird when she just wants to be goth and listen to No Doubt, and I feel like this is the same kind of thing where it's please just let me wear a plaid shirt, and it's no, you have to wear this blue wig and these tights that look like fish.
We read this thing in the newspaper about some sort of evil fish lady. You're her. That's you.
Exactly.
The Nathaniel Bridges wrote about you, and now you gotta be the C-Punk, Selkie. That's what they call you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're hailing from Bluff City, or are you hailing from the Seven Seas?
I was gonna ask if because I know Long Island has the Long Island Sound or whatever. Does does New Jersey have an equivalent where it's not just the Pacific Ocean, but whatever
the Atlantic
bay
Ocean,
or oceans. As much as we need.
We can invent something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there is a phrase. There's shit that I would recognize if you said it, but I'm not remembering it right now,
Yeah. It should be something cooler though. It should be the depths of the whatever.
Right. The depths of the Atlantic Ocean should work,
Yeah.
I think that's probably fine.
The
I'm just
City
Googling
Bay.
Atlantic City Ocean. That's not really what I want though. I want I don't know what I want.
I was trying to move away from something that sounded too spooky since we have a vampire and...
Well, it's going to be a spooky wrestling
this is
group,
true. It sounds
apparently.
This is going to be the Halloween wrestling
Maybe it
event.
is. Maybe it's Halloween. Maybe that's the thing.
Oh, shit.
Let's
See?
record this and not release it until October.
Oh, boy.
Welcome to our holiday special. Our Halloween special.
Oh, wait, never mind.
Uh-huh.
I was has Bluff City got a holiday special? We've had a holidays. The answer was no.
We did.
We did. We had Norlandia was a whole Christmas thing. There was there was snowy. There was the Christmas party with the cops.
It wasn't
We also
a capital
purposely timed
H holiday
Inspectors to
special.
be a Halloween thing, too,
Yeah.
which is kind of a holiday special as well.
Yeah.
Yep. And this was a holiday special because we were planning it around WrestleMania.
That's
And
not
just-
Happy
holiday.
WrestleMania, everyone.
God. All right, WrestleMania's
I
not
sure
a
am
holiday.
excited for
Not
those
anymore.
upcoming
You're
matches.
supposed to enjoy holidays.
Yeah. All right.
No one enjoys
Yeah,
holidays.
fair. Uh-huh.
I
All
love to
right.
tweet. What are you talking about?
All right. So let's talk about your gimmick. Can you write down Golden Boy? Or just
Yes.
Golden Girl? I feel like it's a different thing because of the show.
Yeah, Golden Girls, the show, really ruined the shift. Unless you want to add that into your thing. Everyone should have a Rue McClanahan impression.
Oh my god.
Name and look. Do you have a name yet, or are you just going to sit on that until next recording?
No, I have like a real person name, which is Erica Rizzo, but I don't
Good name.
have. Yeah,
Erica Rizzo sounds like a character on Golden Girls. So...
But yeah, I don't have like a C name yet.
Okay. A C name. All right. Hailing from, again, something like Atlantic Ocean. All right. Is your entrance classic and impressive, showy and ostentatious, mild and unremarkable, or something else?
Oh, probably classic and impressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's that mean for the C-punk siren Selkie?
Oh, you know what they probably do? They probably they don't turn the lights off, but they turn them like down, and then they project like, you know, when like you're in a dark room, but there's light outside, and the light hits the waves, and then like on your wall.
Ooh,
it's,
that's
like,
good.
Spooky.
Yeah, I like it.
I think it's like that.
Can I tell you what I thought you were going to say?
Yeah.
They turn the lights down, and then they project, like, you know, one of those old screensaver aquariums.
God.
Hell yes.
But yours is better.
I mean, that happens like on the projector behind her, I guess, and it just says, you know,
great.
my name, whatever it is.
Whatever it is. All right. And then, like, music hits, and it's...
Yeah.
Is it C-punk? Is it in the C-punk extended genre?
I guess. How do you get from like Tragic Kingdom by the way of Vaporwave?
That's what you just said.
Add some Lisa Frank stickers.
Yeah, exactly.
If you really want to lean into the C-punk thing.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Because I'll find that for you in 12 seconds. You know.
That
Okay.
sounds like are you just coming into like the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack?
Oh my god.
I mean,
Listen, Bramble Scramble's a dope song.
It's the...
Google
You know the video of the Russian kid in the club
Yeah.
where Drake and the Donkey Kong song mashed together?
yeah.
It's that.
Yep. I'm finding it.
It is that. That's the song.
Oh my god, it's
That's the song.
1997 in Russia was fucked
in
up,
Russia
dude.
was fucked up, dude. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, I got you.
That's a jam. So it started from the bottom, but with the
Yeah.
Donkey Kong beat.
Mm-hmm.
Not the whole team here. Yeah,
The bottom of the ocean!
Yes!
Right. Oh, and that's you're hailing from. Hailing from the bottom of the ocean.
Started from the bottom down. Oh, this is so
I'm
good.
furious.
This is the only way this could have gone.
Sorry, I'm
my
watching this
God.
video now. It's great.
Welcome to everyone's least favorite arc of Bluff City.
Disagree. All right, let's keep moving.
People are gonna love it.
I like this video because you can hear what it sounds like in a big room.
It's unbelievable. It's very good audio work. It's amazing that Drake put this track out in 1997 in Russia. So name and look, I think we've just kind of talked a little bit about. You want to be wearing plaid, but instead fish jean jackets.
Yeah, they're the jean jacket with the fishnet, like leggings made out of the quick cosplay for anyone out there. Any costume fabric store has that like holographic like material with the fish swoops in it, you know, and like probably like a V-neck, you know?
Yeah,
Sometimes you're an indie wrestler and you just wear a t-shirt. It happens.
It does. What can you do, you know?
I spent the $100 I had on the jacket, so the patch on the back looks really nice.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what's the patch?
It's probably like the black of it is like a big black panel that says like started from the bottom. I can't do this. I can't.
It doesn't say like fuck a fake fish where your real fish at.
Oh my god.
And then your friends are called the real fish. Your fans, rather. Your fans are called? No? Okay.
Well, do you know something really wild about how we ended up here? Is that there was a moment today where I was like, should I watch the Drake video for No New Friends to get wrestling inspiration? Because all of the outfits in that video are so good.
That's true.
And somehow I just got full circle. And
we made it. We made it around
here. But yeah, it just says start from the bottom of the back and like the thriller font and like sequins, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Perfect. You can get No New Friends as like your when you do your some other turn because you're already starting at a heel, right?
Sure.
I'm guessing you're heel. Actually, I actually don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna see where everybody else wants to be. I think because we have 4 players. You know,
That's
I think
fair.
I could be either pretty easily.
Fair. Listen, as someone who's part of a thing called League of Heels, there is no bottom. As the only face who has been murdered in that league, the only face, and also I'm dead. There is no bottom.
This is true.
All right, let's talk stats. Look, power, real work. Your look. Do you want to go over what the starters are?
Look is +1, power is 0, real is -2, and work is -1.
All right. Then you add 1 to one of those.
Yeah, I think I'm going to add it to work, just
That
so
adds
I'm
up
kind
to
of
me.
base level, but like trying our best.
Yeah, you go to the gym, you like actually care about this. You're going to try to be a good wrestler. But also, your look is a +1 because look at you.
Yep.
Again, we will skip your heat for now. You said you will come back around on rolls. Can you tell me your default move, and then you get to pick 2 from this list?
Yeah. So is the finishing move the same for everyone?
I think so.
Okay, which is when you
except for the jobber. No, we did not. So the jobber is different. The jobber is because the jobber is booked to lose every match, so they don't get a finishing move.
And they have different things for different. There's different results.
Okay,
the
right.
move is the
You're
same,
right.
but like they have different.
Yes.
Okay, so mine is roll 2d6 when you're booked to win. On a +10, I hit my finisher clean and gain +1 audience. 7 to 9, they make me work for it. Choose. They obviously allow you to win, and you gain +1 heat with them. They push you. You both gain +1 momentum, and then on a botch, an authority figure interferes and calls the match in your favor on a technicality, losing you -1 with the audience.
Oof.
Or there was a last-minute change to the booking from backstage, and your opponent wins the match.
Oof. Okay. And so that's the thing with booking is, as the creative, I book who wins matches by default, and the way that the game works is there's lots of moves that let you then be like, no, this thing is happening. Or, actually, I fucked up this roll, I'm going to lose this match. And again, it isn't about you losing. It isn't about the wrestler like not being good enough. It is, and like failing to win the fight because there is no fight. It is a wrestling match. It is about like booking changing last minute, like this one said, or about something real getting involved, or about you being screwed over by the creatives in the back, or whatever it is, or about you deciding to break kayfabe and like actually spin things your way depending on what the move is. So now you get 2 more moves.
I'm gonna go for Always Learning, which is when you work a match with someone you know is better than you, roll +work. On a 10+, pick 2. On a 7 to 9, gain pick 1. And the choices are gain +1 momentum, gain +1 heat with them, gain their respect, and then on a botch, I make a mistake and I lose -1 audience.
Oof, bad.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what's the other one?
And then the other one is I Am the Future. When you keep a promise or follow through on a threat that you made on camera, roll plus luck. On a 10, you pick 2. On a 7 and 9, pick 1. Book yourself in a match with any opponent, add a stipulation to the match, or gain plus 2 momentum. On a botch, you get booked in a punitive match.
Ooh, so that's okay, good. That's when Simeon Shaw comes out and says, you know what? No, you're in a triple threat match, against the number 1 and number 2 contender, and it's an undersea water cage match.
Yes.
That feels like an advantage.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But it's fresh water.
Oh.
See?
Uh-oh.
See, there you
I
go.
can't live in that. Do we want to talk about...
Do we want to what?
Do we want to talk about Sinian's sneaker collection real quick?
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Just making sure.
Yeah. Like,
And
this is, yes. He is that, but worse. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
He's not good. He's a shitbag. Not that Shane is, like, a good dude. I don't know Shane. But, like, Shane at 30 was probably definitely not great, right?
Yeah.
All right, is that it? Do you start with one audience, right?
Boop.
The Golden Boy starts and resets to one audience.
Yes.
And then is there anything else here? All right, that leaves Andy and Art. I'm just say it. There's a high bar at this point.
No pressure, though.
Yep.
I have a lot of stuff to talk through, but I'm ready. But also, Andy, if you have like if you think yours is going to be quick and you want to get it out of the way before I talk everyone to death, you can. If you want to get a fresh audience.
All right, sure. Okay. Where do I even start with this?
I don't know.
So, I guess first thing is the gimmick I'm going with is the technician, which I'm saying that now because it's going to seem at odds with some things unless I get this right out of the gate.
Okay, so what is the technician?
Which is sort of like they're very good at wrestling, but they don't have the charisma, is kind of how I describe it.
The Dean Malenkos of the world.
Yeah. Sort of like, it's all about like chain wrestling and like submissions and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
I think Daniel Bryan was also an inspiration for this, just guessing.
By going from the hailing from, which are usually like the inspirations, it's Bret Hart, is Manchester England Zack Sabre Jr.?
That could be a few people, because like England is just known for the style there.
Sure. I don't know who St. Paul, Minnesota is, but
I'm blanking on that too. Someone in the wrestling chat on the Friends of the Table Discord is gonna be like, Andy, I can't believe you didn't know it was I don't know, Heath Slater, but good.
Wait.
It's not Heath Slater. I just couldn't think of any other wrestlers, and this is
X-Pac is from.
X-Pac is not a
Minneapolis.
technician.
I know,
That
but
makes
that's the
sense.
only one I could think of. That's the only wrestler I could think of from because that's a.
Oh, they might say Minnesota because a lot of this also ties into amateur wrestling.
Right, that makes sense.
sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the idea I had was like, so the technician is based around being good at wrestling but not so good at the other stuff that wrestling involves. And what if my character was someone who was told that they're not good at that and really wants to prove everyone wrong?
No, buddy.
So they went way far in the other direction and are trying to do this like very out there like character, which I'll get into in a second, but they might not have the talking ability to take it, like really make it work.
Okay. Tell me. Oh, well, I think a lot of this is going to hang on the second part of this, which is what that character is.
So I thought it would be really fun to play a wrestler who is firmly convinced that they are everybody's favorite wrestler. And like that they see themselves as this sort of like idol type thing almost, where it's like not like a J-pop or K-pop idol, but very much like hang a poster above someone's bed. Like, oh yeah, of course you love me. I'm Charlie Cupid, which is his name, which is very good.
God.
Comes out wearing like heart sunglasses.
I love it.
And it's a lot of like heart aesthetics and stuff like that, and is very much like, I'm going to show everybody in Bluff City who their new favorite wrestler is. It's me. But then
Charlie Cupid.
People are like, why is this dude just doing wrist locks?
I mean, you must have some sort of leg lock finishing move, right?
Oh no,
or
for sure.
Okay.
Trust me. Then the total wrestling nerd in me is going to forget about this a little bit once we get to the actual wrestling, and I'll be like, I'm gonna do this cool Japanese suplex that nobody knows. I'll get gifts. Don't worry. I'll link them.
Okay, good. Thank you.
But yeah, so that's the whole like basic aesthetic idea. Is
so Charlie Cupid is your in-ring name, or is that your real name?
In-ring name. His real name is Charlie something.
Yeah,
I was thinking he'd be from because you mentioned the sort of WCW parallel.
Yes,
Old Dominion, I think.
Old Dominion Wrestling Federation. Yep.
I was thinking that could be where he came from originally.
Ooh, okay. Wait, so did he step down to like the indies, or is this like a horizontal move?
It was kind of a horizontal move where it's like, I'm not. It's like I don't like AJ Styles, but there was a brief period of time where he was a mid-card guy in WCW.
Right.
And he just didn't like have a character. It's kind of a situation like that where it's like, I'm not doing anything here.
Right.
I'll be in the same position if I move to this town, and now I have an opportunity here.
Right, and also I can stay in this town. This thing doesn't move. So like, I want to be clear that you don't have a name for this wrestling federation yet, for Shaw, whatever. I don't know if it's like Shaw Wrestling or if it's Bluff City Wrestling. Like, I don't know what it is yet. Open door to hear some stuff from y'all. But I definitely am imagining it as a weird combination of like Ring of Honor and also ECW in terms of it having like a dedicated local fan base with local memes and like local history and like very much like less the ECW thing of people jumping off of balconies and like foreheads not being a thing you want to look at anymore. But definitely the thing of like, oh yes, this federation has to do with this city. Right, ECW is a Philadelphia organization. Whatever this this organization is a Bluff City organization. And also the bit about ECW where like it is being run on a shoestring budget and people are waiting on their checks and the promoter is like not fulfilling promises and everyone the best thing that could happen is to get a call up to a bigger place where you can get out and maybe not break your whole body so badly. Also, again, we're not using any of the substance abuse storylines here because of prep. And I think to do an ECW story, you absolutely need to think about that stuff because woof. Some real heavy and hard stories about ECW wrestlers out there. Also, RVD, who is just a stoner. So, I mean, probably not the wasted in that case. Wrestling is rough, it turns out.
Especially looking back at like the 90s and early 2000s.
Oh yeah. Not great.
So I'm not entirely sure where I'm gonna put from hailing from, but definitely sort of like southern US area. I figure I can, since we're just doing characters today, I can nail something down for next week.
Definitely. I will say that Old Dominion specifically is based in is that Tennessee? Is Old Dominion the Tennessee thing? There's somewhere is the Old Dominion state. Wherever that is the state that's from.
Old Dominion University is in Virginia?
So maybe it's Virginia. Maybe that's what I'm going for.
Okay.
Then. Yes.
I did just think of another thing I could put, but I feel like literally none of our characters are listed as being from a real place, and I don't know if I might just continue that trend here, where he's announced as coming from your wildest dreams.
Oh my god. All right, write it down.
So
write it down. Oh,
good. I love this.
Perfect. Here's the one thing where I will break from reality. It was like two things real quick. One, I think that there are like openly queer characters in this federation, and no one fucking they are not like queer coded villains. They are like openly queer characters. But also at the same time, Allie, you talked about part of your pitch of your character is like, but women still are like being treated sort of shitty or not allowed to just be I like no doubt. So do you want to maintain, you want that to still kind of like not open misogyny, not like shittiness that's like, get out of here, broad. That's what misogynists say, right?
Well, I think it's, oh, jeez. I think it's less that and more that like, she was like, I did theater in high school and now I want to be a wrestler. And then like someone with a checkbook was like, okay, but we're going to talk about what your look is, right?
Right.
So it was like, it's touches of that, but it doesn't have to be like
Right.
built into the,
Yeah, I don't think we do an angle on that. I'm not interested in like, again, unless you are. If you're interested in the like, and I'm the woman who's going to be the first champ of this, like the first, you know what I mean? We can do that storyline, but that storyline means we have to go in that direction to some degree.
Yeah, I don't want to tilt the sails that way. So like,
is that the name of your move? Is that one of your signature moves?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. So, your wildest dreams, Charlie Cupid.
Yes.
Entrance,
yeah. So, the options on the playbook are generic and easy, loud and overblown, raw and intense, or something else. And I think the closest is loud and overblown for what I have in mind.
Which like fits because it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
Because if it worked, it wouldn't be overblown. It would be like, when you look at the golden, you're basically a technician who wishes they were a golden boy, right?
Exactly.
And so like those entrances are classic and impressive or showy and ostentatious. You don't get those. You get overblown. You don't even get showy and ostentatious.
It's very much like you're completely right. What I'm basically, it's. I don't know how many. I know Art has been to a couple local wrestling shows, but there's always like the new guy in a local wrestling show who's trying way too hard with their character when they should just like tone it down.
I think we've all watched NXT at the very least.
Exactly. Yeah. This is like, what if the kid who took like 3 seminars worth of like promo classes wanted to be a Velveteen Dream type,
right?
But couldn't pull it off,
right? Did not have the natural talent, and also did not have the training.
Yeah, just doesn't have the like
two things you need
for it, or like all the wrestling training is there, but none of like no one ever sat like, because he's from like the sort of like traditional wrestling places. Like this was all about like work rate, like that sort of like you've got to know how to do all your holds and shit before you even care about doing promos. Promos are secondary, and that shows in like that teaching shows in the way he is.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So that is entrance stats.
Can I just have a quick note about characters you see at local indie shows?
Uh-huh.
The last local indie show I went to had a character that was the Samoan werewolf.
Oh my god. Art, why are you spoiling the character you're going to play? And the show before that, which was a different federation, just had Gangrel there. Actual Gangrel. He has like a new name now, but that's who it was. That's also Does he still have the teeth?
Yeah, he's still doing the exact same thing.
Okay.
But Gangrel is owned by White Wolf, so he's not doing that.
He can't use that, yeah.
And that's where Rusev came from. Rusev came from that federation.
Huh. Good on him.
I always assumed he just kind of got picked up by WWE out of nowhere.
No, he comes from Knox Pro Wrestling out of California, which you would think would be from Knoxville. It isn't.
Was he Vampire Warrior? Which is one of the names he used.
I believe he was Vampire Warrior.
Hell yeah.
I can't believe he got the like knockoff dollar store action figure name of himself. I think. Sorry.
We're talking about Gangrel? Sorry, I thought we were talking about Rusev and I got really excited.
We were talking about Gangrel. We were talking about Gangrel.
Fuck. No, I thought we were saying Rusev was Vampire Warrior.
I wish. Ugh. Happy Rusev Day, everybody. Stats.
Next. So, my starting stats are luck -2, power 0, real -1, and work +1. And I gotta add 1 to any of those.
Okay.
And before this, I was debating adding it to look just so I wouldn't be so bad, but no.
Oh my god, really? Okay.
I don't know. I think it'd be more fun. Like, the way it works in the mechanics, I think it'll, like, actually flow pretty well when I fuck up those look rolls in a match.
Right. Fair. Think about the imaginary audience. You're right.
Yeah. So, I think I'm gonna put the, I think I'm just gonna put the other +1 into my work so I can just, like...
That's the character, right? +2 work, -2 look. But thinks it's +2 +1 work +1 look, and it's not.
Yeah.
I'm
also going to be taking, just jumping ahead a bit, the move that gives me +1 work, so I'm really leaning into it.
Oh my god, okay. It is the technical expert move.
Yes.
Are you a face or a heel?
I was thinking heel.
Okay.
I feel like it doesn't work as a face, because the whole thing is that it's an annoying guy who wants you to love him.
Yeah.
Like, the audience, so, you know.
Yeah.
Is it like a little like NXT Bo Dallas?
No, it's less... It's more like... Bo Dallas is too, like, a weird baby gremlin for me to make that comparison with his weird smiles and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, we don't have to insult his appearance.
I'm just saying
part of this.
That's how he acted with his weird little yells and his running around.
Fair.
This is much more self-serious, I'd say.
Right.
Is there like a drop of Elias in here?
Definitely.
Okay.
Oh, thank
Definitely. The two people I've been
best thing
thinking a
happening
lot
in wrestling in America? Yeah.
The two, Ali, I'll let you know who the two people I've been thinking a lot about with regards to this are. It's Elias and Hiromu Takahashi.
Good.
So you know.
So
So I'm gonna put down heel.
Yeah, go for it. So then you get moves. Again, one of them is technical expert, then you also have finishing move and one more.
The other one I'm going to take is excellence of execution, which lets me roll +1 work for my finishing move.
Which does what? Because it's a little bit different for
finishing
you.
move. Oh yeah, I forgot the effects are different.
Mm-hmm.
So on a 10+, I hit it clean and gain audience like all of them, and then on a 7 and 9, they make me work for it. I choose either they counter and I have to slap a real submission hold on them, gain +2 momentum. They no-sell my finish and I have to hit them with it again, gain +1 heat with them. On a botch, pick one. It's sloppy, lose -1 audience and win the match, or you go overboard and really crank in a hold, you injure your opponent and end the match in a no contest.
Don't fail. Rough.
Yeah.
Okay, no injuries, obviously, and you start with an audience of +1, I believe. Yes. Okay. And again, we'll come back to heat in a second once we finish Art's long talk. Art.
Hi, it's Art with long talks.
With your talking to me about your wrestler.
So I of course want to continue with Jake the Jackal,
right,
introduced in Inspectors. And like in that, I sort of envisioned him as like an Egyptian stereotype Undertaker.
Yeah.
And I have since then sort of wondered, you know, while that was like kind of cute and funny for that,
for a thing where that wasn't actually on screen.
Right.
Like, that was like, oh yeah, I used to do this. Yeah.
And if perhaps that is less cute and funny as like a real thing.
Right.
That like, I don't know anything about ancient Egypt. I am not Egyptian.
Again, the two things you would need to be, at least one of those two, to fuck around in that space adequately. You'd at least need to know some shit about ancient Egypt to get it wrong in a way that would be, you know what I mean? Like I don't want you just swinging.
Right. If I were an Egyptologist,
right, we
could talk about it. Right,
and not the sort that like raids tombs and takes things from Egyptian culture.
Is that still what Egyptologists? I thought there were
real
Egyptologists
now. Yes, there are still also shitty treasure hunters out there.
Right. I don't know if a lot of shitty treasure hunters are also doing actual play podcasts, but
it takes all kinds.
Anyway,
so you think moving away from that for the Jackal,
right? But like I'm sort of thinking like American Badass Undertaker.
Okay.
Where it's like it's moved away, but there's still like you can't move away from all of it.
From the Tombstone
because,
Pile Driver.
Right, the Tombstone Pile Driver. He's still from Death Valley, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
You know that like.
But Death Valley definitely has a biker bar in your mind now. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, Death Valley does have a biker bar.
Right, but before it used to only have a graveyard. You know, like that was the whole like, ooh, you're imagining old West Death Valley versus like modern Fred Durst Death Valley.
Sure. Is Fred Durst from Death Valley?
I'm so glad Kid Rock didn't show up to WrestleMania.
Did you see his whole like body slam some Democrats speech?
Shut up.
Okay.
I did not. I can't, Art. I don't have it in me. Kanye West is back on Twitter. I can't.
It's been a long week.
It's been a long week. It's Tuesday.
Kanye West is back on Twitter, so you can't remember that Kid Rock's an asshole.
I can't have two of my loves betray me in 1 week.
Anyway, but like biker seems I don't want to do biker, and I'm struggling to come up with another like tough guy thing.
The dog catcher.
Yeah, for example, not the dog catcher.
What else is there that's cool and badass but not good? Allie?
I mean, if this is post inspectors, you could just be the ghost hunter or like the walks with the dead. But that's too Undertaker, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I could be like John Constantine, right? I could be like like I'm like
hey, can I tell you?
Ghost Hunter, but cooler.
Can I tell you a real thing real quick? Have you looked around this federation? Because, motherfucker, I got the Selkie you literally helped, and I got a vampire already. And this motherfucker's name is Cupid. Cupid is like a mythological thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to fine-tune it a little bit, but let's go somewhere between Blade and Constantine. All right, so probably close to Constantine. I imagine it's not a leather jacket. I do imagine it's like, I don't know. John Constantine had a lot of looks. I'll find the right one.
Okay. But also you're like an old dude.
Yeah, it's an older... I'm an older dude. Yeah, I think this is going to work. I think is like... I'm thinking a lot of looks in terms of like late career Kevin Nash, like when Kevin Nash decided to stop fighting his gray hair. I might even mean like, what's that movie? With Channing Tatum.
Magic Mike?
Magic Mike 2 Kevin Nash might be really what I mean in terms of like...
Oh, right.
More clothes, no stripping.
Magic Mike double XL or whatever, XXL.
Yeah, Magic Mike's XXL. If you're in Vegas and looking for something to do, the Magic Mike stage show is pretty good.
Okay. Kevin Nash looks good in Magic Mike too, huh? Kevin
Nash still looks good. He's just very clearly not... It's just not 1994 anymore.
He looks great, just in life.
Yeah, if any of us could look as good... I don't know how old Kevin Nash is, but like... He definitely looks the best of any big wrestler at his age I've ever seen.
Yeah. He also looks like he owns a lot of real estate.
I don't think I'm going to take that part of the character.
Does Kevin Nash own real estate? ?
He definitely flips all of it, right?
Oh, 100%. I got this, knash.com. Real estate is my business. My only business. This is not our Kevin Nash.
Oh.
It's really funny, though.
But, like, I think the jackal motif can still kind of get in there.
Wait, like, it's still, like, do you still have, like, a big jackal silhouette on on the back of your jacket or whatever?
Yeah, and it probably still looks like it's from the merchandise stand outside the Stargate ride.
Right, it's that.
Stargate ride, but like
yes,
because like these are branded symbols, and right. That's how commerce works. You can't just like throw away all your trademarks. But like, I'm actually like, are jackals predators or?
I think they're. I think that they are like scavengers, aren't they? Like
small canines.
Not vultures, but what are those things called? Like, I mean, they're omnivorous, but they're like coyotes. No. They're basically like desert coyotes.
A coyote has tried to eat my dog. So,
Jesus, is Mabel okay?
Yeah, but like
that's just a Californian thing.
Yeah, there's just a lot of coyotes, and they will, if they're hungry, they'll try to take your small dog.
They are opportunistic omnivores, predators and proficient scavengers.
Okay, so like the jackals on the hunt can be a part of this.
Yes.
Great. Sold.
We'll just leave out that you eat small mammals, birds, and reptiles, and that your large feet have fused leg bones that give you a physique well suited to long distance running.
Why are we talking about even Gardner right now? I'm very confused.
Oh my god.
So that's it. It's like moving on, but keeping the thing. But like there's no onks. There's no
Right.
He's not the avatar of Anubis anymore. This is all like we're all a little embarrassed by it, but that's what wrestling in the 80s was like, and now
it's some other time, indeterminate, and we're embarrassed. And
I'm
also
still trying to figure out like where he's announced from, because he was certainly originally announced from like the Nile Delta, and I'm trying to like figure out a way to like turn that into like
we didn't ever was he Egyptian? Like he isn't just from Cairo, is he?
I know he's not. He's not from.
That's what I was asking.
I mean, I bet he. I mean, I'm sure he's. I've always imagined him as like having a complexion from which you could like assume he was vaguely Middle Eastern.
Oh,
but
like a wrestling brown person in the 1980s, where they just like attached some shit because that's how wrestling creatives were back then. Still,
yeah, but I haven't like internally decided where he's really from.
Got you. Which just be from there, right? Like part of that turn. Or maybe not. Or maybe do we do something else, which is like parts unknown, like, but that for Constantine. Do you know what I mean? Like from the realm between realms or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like from
the realm
Miskatonic, university or whatever. You know what I mean? Like wherever you hunt vampires and whatnot from.
Sure. From the
We can come
the Daywalker.
Right. Exactly. You can sleep on that. We have a couple days before we have to actually step into the ring.
It's not that one. It's
not the Crypt of the Daywalker? Okay.
No, that's bad.
Okay. So that is we haven't talked about gimmick yet.
Oh, and that's like the other thing I'm struggling with a little bit, because my idea was the veteran. Right. I think it fits very well. Mm-hmm. But that playbook is very much about like politics. Right. So, like, the two moves that I found the most interesting for my pick one were top of the card, when you demand a match, it must be granted by creative, which for a game we're only going to run one show feels like just like, it sounds like a real middle finger to just literally everyone. The other players. No, I don't think so. I think that's a good moment. All right.
Because remember, you don't have to demand a match for you.
I never read it like that, but you're right. It certainly doesn't say that.
It doesn't.
And then the other like fun move from this playbook is barium. When you go to management to stop another wrestler's push, roll plus reel. On 10+, you book their next segment. On 7 to 9, pick whether you book yourself to win next time you wrestle them, or add a stipulation to their next match. On a bot, you accelerate their push instead.
It's very good.
It's very good.
Especially given the kind of like, again, the metagame of like whoever leaves with the most audience leaves with the like contract.
Right.
And so what is the alternative here for gimmicks?
The alternative is Monster.
Okay, which is
and the move that gives me access to that is fun is Not of This World. Pick or create a signature match stipulation. Whenever creative books you in a match, you can choose to add that stipulation, even if the match already has one, and you start the match with +2 momentum.
What is that?
That's like the casket match, or the I don't have one, but 3 stages of hell, Egyptian strap match. I don't. That's not that
not as good. See, not as good.
I'm just thinking of things that people in the meeting where they pitch these things. Yes, that's on the list.
It's absolutely on the list. I was making sure there's nothing else.
Like a location.
There's nothing an international incident here that matches, right?
No, not really. I mean, like, there is, if you want to do, like, I could just decide that, I could bend this to be the ace, but that isn't right.
No. You may have been the ace at one point. in the past.
Sure.
Like, or you were probably the monster, but there's probably a little bit of a period where you were also the ace. Or you at least had
like
the ace
the
move or
shoot
two.
fighter, right? Because
Right.
like being an act, but like saying like I'm a ghost hunter and so I am a shoot fighter is not really right.
You are actually a ghost hunter though, so you know. In this league, I don't know, but you're not a luchador. You're not a young one. You're not the young one.
Right. I'm not a young lion, which is what this definitely is. I mean, I think the thing to do is take the veteran and like trust that we'll come back to this, because long term the veteran has the fun moves. You know, the demand a match move is fun. The put over move is fun. You know, when you show vulnerability to an opponent in the ring in order to make them look good, roll plus work on a 10+, you both gain. Like the idea of being an older person who wants to help but also wants to protect their own spot, like trying to build that like Hulk Hogan late career, like WCW Hulk Hogan, where I'm like ruining the company but think I'm doing great.
Yeah.
That seems fun, but like on a one card thing, it's like hard to just like get there.
To get there, yeah. I'm just double checking that you're not the ace. The ace does have amazing entrance.
Let me see.
Mostly the one there is fighting spirit, which is like you're basically able to like that would lead. Here's the question: are you good at being a weird ghost hunter? Like, are you good at this? Here's my real question: do you do the same 6 moves, or are you a good wrestler? That's unfair. Do you do the same 6 moves in a way do you do the same 6 moves and everybody loves them, or are you like still working at the technique of in-ring performance and storytelling?
I think that Jake is like, as you know, he's wrestled so many matches that he is good at it, but he was never like, you know, he never had 1,004 holds or whatever it was,
right? And
he was never like.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a big difference between even The Miz and Roman Reigns. No offense to Roman Reigns, who I think is like doing his best to find shit, but like I don't like watching Roman Reigns in the ring that much because he does 5 moves.
Sure. No, I think it's a little better than that. I'm thinking more of like.
But he's not Dana Bryan. He's not the indie darling. He's not the like.
Right. He's more of like a territory person.
Right. Okay.
He's Jake the Snake. Right.
Right. He is Jake the Snake. Right. That's true.
I mean, Jake the Snake was a good wrestler.
Yes.
But you remember Jake the Snake because of his out of the ring stuff.
I remember Jake the Snake because of his snake.
There's no snake. I don't have a snake.
Do you have a jackal? Have you considered having a jackal?
I don't think you can tame them.
Oh, that's what you said in the creative meeting. And I was like, oh, he's right. And also put that on a shirt. You can't tame the jackal. Okay, but that's a good argument for being the anti-hero. Shaw, you want me to be your man. But don't you know? You can't tame the jackal.
Yeah. The problem with the anti-hero is the -2 power.
Oh, that's a big problem. You're right.
Because this is definitely a power wrestler gimmick.
Oh yeah. And you're not working stiff because you're not that person. No, I'm not. You're working. You're really in the ring. You're really trying to make this look good. So yeah, I think it's probably veteran then.
And I'll use my +1 stat 2 power. So
what is your overall stat line then?
It starts with look 0, power -1, real -1, work +1. I would add 1 to power to go 0, 0, -1, +1.
Okay, cool. And you are a face?
Yes, with 2 heels, with
2.5 heels with. Because Allie, have you decided what you're doing yet?
I was just gonna fit whatever we needed.
Okay.
We have an even. We have 4 people. So.
Okay. So then you and Allie are faces. It sounds like.
Okay. That means we can't do the like Jake the Jackal versus the Silky.
I mean, not right now.
You brought
you don't,
right.
you don't
Not
burn
right
all,
now.
you don't put all your big matches first.
You probably did that bit already, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a question. Are we doing intergender? Are we like living in the world of Lucha Underground where they just do intergender matches sometimes?
I don't have anything against it. I like gender wrestling a lot. So.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Mixed wrestling is happening. So yeah, maybe y'all already did an arc together and like have come around the other side. I mean, we don't need to ask this. I don't need to ask that general question because now once we finish Art's moves, we can talk about Heat.
Oh right.
So let's talk about moves really quick. Art, what is your finishing move?
Finishing move. When you're booked to win a match, roll 2d6. On 10+, you hit your finisher clean. Choose whether you or your opponent gains +1 audience. On a 7 to 9, they make you work for it. Choose you use your veteran skills to force a win and gain +1 heat with them, or you let them look strong in defeat and they gain +1 audience. On a botch, you win by countout, disqualification, or interference. Creative's choice, and you lose -1 audience.
Mm-hmm. And then you have
Veteran instincts gain +1 momentum when you start a match.
That's great, and then you get to pick one.
I've read 3 of them already. Let me make sure I know what Respect the Business does. I don't have enough plus real to really make that feel good. Also,
It's cool, though.
It's real cool. But I've rolled dice on this show before. For this, I'll take Put Over, and I'll take top of the card next time.
Okay. So Put Over says...
Put Over says, I already moved over to write it down. When you show vulnerability to an opponent in the ring in order to make them look good, roll plus work. On a 10+, you both gain +1 audience. On a 7 to 9, one of you gains +1 audience, the other loses -1 audience. Your opponent's choice. On a botch, you lose -1 audience, and your opponent resents you for your pandering.
That's good. Again, you don't start with any injury. And you, when you sprint in advance, blah, 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 you start with audience 2. You start and reset to audience 2. Because you're a veteran. You've been here. They know who you are. They're never going to forget Jake the Jackal, even if you change gimmicks. I mean, I guess if you change gimmicks, you wouldn't reset to audience 2, but you know what I mean.
I would if I came back as one of the prestige classes.
Oh, true. And I think that is it. So... it's time to talk about Heat. Let's jump back to the top here. Actually, the bottom of this page. And Dre, do you want to go over the Jobber's Heat questions?
Sure. Well, do you want me to read all of these? Because I think, don't we like take turns asking a question? I'm trying.
Yeah, I guess you do. Maybe you do actually ask. We do like go around the horn.
And
is that right?
One per player, so everyone should know that they have to omit one.
Right. Oh. You do not get to have all of these. Yeah. So let's start with you. Which of these ones are you asking first?
Who was my tag team partner before they made it big?
I'm fine to have that.
Okay, that sounds right to me. Yeah,
I think that works pretty well. Because again, I also like not to go too into it, but I also have the question: is who was my holding me back as my tag team partner? Is the first question on my sheet too. So I was actually going to ask that and see if you wanted it. So
heck yeah,
I think it works pretty well.
All right, so both of you take +1 heat. That's easy on each other. That's a good first set. Allie?
Mine is who did I debut with and leave behind, and especially based on that, I was thinking Andy. Where it's like Andy comes in, thinks they're the best wrestler ever, but it turns out like people really like Drake music.
People do really like Drake music and C-Punk and
just get
Fish.
Like, slightly over. Plus the tag team thing, which started on bad footing, I guess. If you're cool with that.
I'm totally down with that, yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so there you go. So then that means, Allie, you take +1 heat with Andy, with Charlie Cupid. All right, Art.
Who has no respect for all the work I've put into this company?
Ooh.
Face me, you coward.
I wonder if it's me. Like maybe Lenny thinks you're kind of like a tryhard. Like because like you want to like do something with this. He's just like, man, it's just wrestling.
Right.
All right.
Like you did this already. Why? Like You have another job.
Right.
You hunt ghosts for real. But it's not like it can't just be let the young kids get it. Unless it can be, but not for you. Right? Like, maybe you're, like, protective of, like, I can't believe we're still dealing with Jake the Jackal when we have Charlie Cupid and the Sea Punk Selkie who should be getting a push.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Sleep on it. See how you feel. So then Art, take +1 with Dre. And we're back around for Art, your second question.
Oh, we're snake drafting it.
Oh, right, sorry. No, because you went first last time, Dre, right?
Yeah.
Did I just say Art? I said Art. I meant Dre. Sorry, I meant Dre. We were not snake drafting it.
Okay. Let's see. Who can't remember who I am?
I mean, I want to take that in retaliation, but it doesn't make any sense if...
Right. If you're upset that he doesn't give you the credit you deserve, then you probably don't. You probably do remember who he is.
Unless it's just like, that weird guy should respect me.
Yeah.
What are you
What's
doing?
his name with the shirt? He's got to Okay, yeah, it's me.
Have you seen that asshole's hat? I can't even remember his
Yeah.
name. I hate that motherfucker.
I hate Hat Asshole, and I don't remember him, and he says he's been around the whole time, but I don't think that's true. And honestly, what's with the hat?
God. All right. Andy?
Who is trying to teach me to be more of an entertainer?
Oh, that's good.
Anyone could take that.
I'll take that.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to say yes to everyone's thing. That's what I'm trying to avoid.
A lot of heat.
I had that problem the first go around too.
Yeah.
Allie? Remember that you're picking 3 of these total, so.
Okay. Who's taken me under their wing?
I could do that in terms of, like, we could make it be more about, like, taking you under my wing as, like, wrestling stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I'm coaching you to be better in the ring.
In the ring, right.
That makes me want to be the person who's trying to make you a better performer by being like, look
true.
at this red tape. Without.
Well,
that makes a lot of sense.
We could have some fun with that, where it's like you're trying to do that, but my character's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go talk to Jake about this.
There.
God.
But we could do it the other, because I have a who is my protege.
Oh.
So we could make a triangle here.
Wait, what's that
That's pretty
triangle look
good.
like? I need to understand this triangle.
So I'm trying to teach Cupid to be a better, have a better look, I guess.
Okay.
But Cupid is my protege.
Yeah.
Right. And Cupid
It's trying to
is
teach me how to be a
better
like, wrestler.
Yes. I kind of like that.
All right, so I'll write that down for protege.
So then, Andy, are you changing to Heat with Allie from teaching you to be a better... Okay, cool.
And then I can just change... I'm gonna have to rewrite some stuff to make it fit, but it'll work, yeah.
Oh wait, that means we immediately have 2 Heat, which is good.
That's great. God, I've lost whoever's next. Who's left?
I think we finished this round.
Say, is it back to me?
I think it's
Does
back to
everyone
you.
have 2?
Everyone should have 2 at the end of this.
Everyone has 2 questions answered? Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I can't pick between these last 2. It's either who refuses to work with me or who is always trying to get management on my side. I don't know if the last one really fits because, like, Jake doesn't like me and neither does Cupid. And Allie, unless you, like, want it to be a part of your character that, like, C-Punk is trying to encourage this sad jobber person.
Maybe she doesn't...
I like...
Yeah.
There's something interesting in being like, I love wrestling, and you're important to this. So, like, they should book you better, is, like, kind of a thing.
Okay.
I don't know.
You show up every night. You're here all the time, and, like, you put in work, and, like, you should be...
Right.
You should
You're
get
kind
a
of like,
push.
I'm going to talk to Mr. Whoever.
Shaw.
Oh, everyone gets +1 heat to people of the opposite role. Don't forget that.
Oh, important. Good catch.
Wait, what?
People, you get +1 heat to someone. If you're a face, you get +1 heat against anyone who's a heel, and vice versa.
Okay.
So it's me and Andy are the heels, and then Allie and Art are faces, right?
Yes.
I think we've completely ignored for this bit,
But this is sort of
more
backstage-y.
behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is all
backstage
backstage,
stuff.
real stuff. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Andy, did you already? No, you did not already answer your third.
I
ask your third one.
have. Yeah, I have one question left, and I don't know if either of them are gonna work great.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's who's jealous of my skills, which could work, or who's trying to learn by watching me in the ring. But I think we've covered that last one pretty
Yeah.
clearly.
Not necessarily, because
Okay.
either Art or Dre could be who's trying to learn by watching me in the ring. There's a difference between like I'm trying to help them get better and I'm watching their technique.
Okay, so sorry, maybe I'm misinterpreting. Are we supposed to? Are we only able to have one question?
No.
Okay, that's where
heat goes up to 4.
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah. You're not trying to fill out a chart like here's my heat is a thing that these are just questions that give you heat plus whatever. And so when this starts, like remember what these are because they're important for your characterization. But heat is a thing that goes up to 4, and then you have a match, and then you kind of cash that in to gain audience. Okay. It's like what is your heat with that wrestler? What is the how excited is the audience about your relationship with them?
Yeah.
And so you want that heat to go up. You actually would love to have a heat higher with somebody because it's one of the ways that you can get to 4 and then get more audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
For instance, you're already +2 with me, and then +3 because we're different.
Yeah, I must have misread that in the
no worries.
book. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not like married to either of these. So the two, like, if anybody thinks they've got a good idea for either option, then again, who's jealous of my skills or who's trying to learn by watching me in the ring, let me know.
I mean, I could see my character as jealous of your skills.
Sure,
Yeah.
we could definitely work that in there. I think I kind of like the idea of like estranged tag team partners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lean on it.
Yeah, don't you think Marty Jannetty was jealous of Shawn Michaels' skills? Also his ability to not drive drunk?
Wow, that got dark quick, huh?
I don't want to talk about
Welcome
Marty
to
Jannetty.
wrestling.
It'll
Welcome
just
to
get
wrestling.
darker.
Yeah, see? Ugh, it's brutal. Wrestling is, yeah. Next person, Allie.
Mine, okay, so I have 2, and both of them are fair game, which is who's jealous of my rapid rise, and who has taken it upon themselves to teach me a lesson in the ring, which could be like, also you want to beat me up.
Mm-hmm.
I could be jealous of your rapid rise.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, especially with the triangle that we've established.
Sometimes we just give softballs to the fan fiction writers.
And I think we wrap back around to Art for the last one. Is that right?
So my last 2 are who am I keeping out of the spotlight and who is undercutting me? And I think I prefer who is undercutting me.
It ain't the jobber, so it's really an Andy or Allie question.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it undercutting like it's undercutting backstage, right? It's
is it? Okay.
That's
so
what
yeah,
I
it could
thought
be.
It was.
It could be Dre then, because it could be the like, listen, boss. Like, I know you like the guy; he's a veteran, but you know,
Yeah.
blah
I
blah
could take
blah.
that. Yeah.
All right, can we get the final heat scores, please?
So I've built myself this big feud with the jobber.
Who is a vampire?
And you're a monster hunter. It's perfect.
Yeah, it fits.
How I figured out what we mean by jobber. Bray Wyatt.
God damn.
Oh,
God damn.
brutal. It's more like
Just gave it to him with
Adam
both
Rose.
barrels.
That's like what they mean. Like they don't mean like the nobodies that come in to lose to Braun Strowman or whatever. They mean
Yeah.
like
Well, I think they
No,
even
yeah.
say like in the
Regular-
book that you're above like the local jobbers that get like
Yeah.
paid $20 to lose in a squash match.
It is very
Yeah.
much the like Heath Slater of
Right.
I'm around forever and I'm here just to lose on TV type of thing. Yeah.
Do we want to go around the table? I can start.
Mm-hmm.
So I have +2 with Charlie Cupid and +1 with Jake the Jackal. Charlie Cupid we debuted together and I left them behind, and they've also taken me under their wing, and Jake the Jackal is jealous of my rapid rise, which is, don't be a hater.
I think we have 3 because I'm a heel.
Okay.
Well.
Right.
I have +3 with Count FAUSTOFLE.
Oh my god.
The third.
I'm
Please.
sorry, that wasn't on your name when I went and copied it.
Is it not there?
It's not.
My apologies. That's
So
there.
I'm
looking at it right now. It's totally there.
Oh, I was looking for like the I.
Oh. No. Yeah, he just writes the third.
Well, I didn't.
You know what
Which
they
is
call him,
part
the third?
of no respect. Oh wait, it's you have no respect. I have +3, 1 for opposing alignment, 1 for no respect for what I've done for this company, and 1 for undercutting me. I have +2 with Charlie, 1 for opposing alignment, and 1 for being my protege. And I have 0 with the Sea Drake.
Oh,
which is like a cool name. I know you don't have a name, and I was just like throwing something together, but like because Drake means dragon.
It means dragon.
It does mean dragon.
So Sea Drake isn't terrible, and
Yeah.
like it's a good wink, you know, wink.
Well, we have 48 hours before we're recording this again. I'll have a name then, and maybe it'll be the Sea Drake.
Perfect. Andy or Dre?
I'll just go. So I'm former tag partners with Lenny / Count FAUSTOFLE the Third, and he is also jealous of my skills. So we have 2 heat together, and then Allie, or I just have your character's real name, Erica, written down. Erica is trying to teach me to be more of an entertainer, and because I am a heel and she's a face, I have 3 heat with her. And then heat goes both ways, right?
There? No, heat goes one way. You get
one
heat.
way? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, I don't need to add that then.
Yeah, sorry, wait, I think it's only... So wait, how do you have 3 with her?
I guess I only have 2 with her then.
Right, yeah.
She has 3.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
All right. And Dre.
But you have 1 heat with me because we're
right. Yes, make sure you all have that 1 for... Yeah, there's a chance you'll have someone who you don't have heat with from questions, but do because of opposition in the thing, in alignment.
All right. I have +1 heat with Charlie Cupid, who was my tag team partner before they made it big. I have +2 heat with Jake the Jackal, 1 for opposing alignment and 1 because Jake can't remember who I am. And then I have +2 heat with the Sea Punk, who is always trying to get management on my side and for opposing alignment.
Okay. I think that's it for tonight.
Should we talk about like the rest of the promotion?
Yeah, sure. I still have to make some.
You don't want to have to like. I guess what I'm asking is, do you want to go and make like 5 more wrestlers, or should we like shoot the shit a little bit?
Let's shoot the shit a little bit. I have another 10 minutes before I have to run down the street to see if a UPS package is sitting for me in a mini mart. So I think there's probably a shoot fighter, like an MMA fighter. There's just like another Ken Shamrock type from Firebird Gym, whose character is just, I go to Firebird Gym and I'm a fighter. Like, that is her whole bit. I don't have a name for her yet, but I will. I don't think it's Dion Gabbro, but I thought of it. But I did think about it. I put down Dion Gabbro, ? In my notes.
I kind of like the idea of like a golden boy that didn't make it. Like a Lex Luger type.
Right.
But like in a Bluff City kind of way, like that could be like the, this is gonna be like someone who was like given like a Springsteen gimmick, but like blew it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I got it. Springsteen gimmick, but blew it. Which is like, it works, and has that character made the transition into, like, I think they have. I think they've now they've crossed over from not having made it to living the fact that they didn't make it, and they are also, like, doing the veteran gimmick of, like, you can't make it out this town, like, that style of, I think maybe they're also, like, a Bluff City they're from Bluff City. They did this bit in the 90s or in the 80s or whatever, and then now today they're still doing the like, you can't make it out this town. I'm here for good. I'm stuck here now. Like the old veteran who has given up on getting out and is now, I think when they're in a really good angle, is like, I'm gonna make sure this is the best federation in the world, you know, and otherwise is not gonna do it. Also, they're probably some sort of blackjack dealer. I think I'm writing the name down, Blackjack. All right, we need a couple more. What do we got? Other wrestling ideas. It sounds like we're gonna need another tag team of some sort.
Yeah. Oh, do we think they're still in a tag team?
No, I just think there's gonna be a tag team match.
Oh, okay, fair. I really want there to be like the R2D2 and C3PO of wrestling.
Got it. R2D2 plus C3PO, and then next to it I'm gonna put their robots that bicker and wrestle together.
Mm-hmm. And one's like really technical, and one's like a on the mic kind of loud talker. Maybe they like actually come in the ring just as robots.
Yeah, no, they're robots. This is a supernatural league already.
Mm-hmm.
Two people come down in like suits and sunglasses, and they're called the House because the House always wins.
Right, the House always wins. Yeah. The House is definitely a stable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can be more than just those two, but like suits and sunglasses are the look.
Not quite robots, but I want to throw out Techno Team 2000 as like a touchstone for the robot guys. And that's Techno TEKNO. Yeah. That's a very important detail.
Excuse me? Techno what? Oh, yeah.
Techno Team 2000.
I thought you were saying it's techno, and then the way you spell team is TEKNO, and I was like,
No. Yeah, Techno 2000.
This is a good look.
This is a good look.
There's a 2000 on there.
It's they came from the future. In kayfabe.
I just need you to know that in my mind, so they loaded in. I scrolled down because I was like, wait, when is this from? And then on my right, all of my up next are Desus and Mero, and I'm so tired that I rolled up and thought I was going to get a Desus and Mero bit about Techno Team 2000. And I'm so sad I didn't.
Oh, man. If only.
Do they win this match? Yes, they win this match. Shout out to Techno Team 2000.
They were fucking terrible. Anyway.
Well, this is the name of this video is Boring WWE Tag Teams. Techno
they
Team
are
2000.
Literally considered one of the most boring teams of all time.
But
despite
it's published
having...
by WWE. They published this.
Oh, I know. They like latched onto it after people were like, "Hey, look at this dumb tag team from the like 90s."
The 3090s, because they're from the future.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I know it's Techno Team 2000, but they're from 3090.
They thought just saying 2000 would, ingratiate them more.
Also, there are 2 on the back. Looks like it's an R, so it looks like it just says TT Roo on the back of their jackets.
There's a lot of really good, like, if you need imagery for these robot guys, there's a lot of really good, bad technology, turn of the millennium technology stuff they tried to do. There's no shortage.
Perfect. I need a couple more things. I can probably work with what we got here, but if I can get 1 or 2 more, that'd be great.
I feel like we kind of need just like a younger big dude. Like they always have the sort of like big hoss in the promotion.
Right, yeah.
But I don't want to step on Jake's toes too much there, so maybe not.
No, I mean, for the non-player wrestlers, it's literally like we could have whatever we want.
Really. Yeah, true. Earlier today, I was thinking, I was just kind of going through, okay, if my gimmick doesn't work, what other ones could I do? And it was man, but his motif is that he is also a truck. I don't know how to explain it better than that. He's just a man, he
man truck? You're talking about man
truck? He
loves
trucks, and he's big, and...
Okay.
This was gonna be...
Does he love trucks, or does he love trucks?
Nope, bad.
Is he a dinosaur?
Not
like
the
an
second
Optimus
one.
Prime costume?
It would, yeah, it's kinda, but more like, oh, why does this dude always come out wearing a Ford logo on his t-shirt? And also, he looks like every stepdad I've ever met.
Is his name just Ron?
Yeah,
now
probably.
Come to the ring, Ron.
If I don't get my title match, I'm turning this federation around.
It's very funny.
Sorry, I know you've got a time limit.
No, it's fine. It's fine because I just wrote down Monster House ? It's a stable, and then under that I just wrote Sasquatch, Godzilla, King Kong, Loch Ness, Goblin, Ghoul, and Zombie with no conscience. Question.
Yeah. I was wondering if my name should have Nessie in it somewhere, so I don't want there to be too much overlap. But Cedric.
Oh wait, maybe you left the Monster House.
Oh, maybe I did.
Maybe you're a face now, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you face turned. Maybe like go in the Monster House, and then you like did like a couple of shows, and then boom, face turn. Fuck off, Monster House. I don't know why I'm calling it Monster House when there's already a stable called The House.
No, they're like the underground like monster demon casino.
It's like NWO Black, NWO Red. There's the house, and then there's the monster.
Oh my god!
All right, I'm writing it down.